How did we reach at the figure of 100,000? The figure for 100,000 was based on one, purchase of 20 kilograms of posho, and we have calculated a kilo of posho at 2,000, that gives you 40,000. Purchase of 10 kilograms of beans at 2,500, which gives you 25,000. Purchase of 1 bar of soap at 3,000. Purchase of 3 liters of cooking oil at 4,000 a liter, which gives you 12,000. And if you calculate that, will give you 80,000. Then we decided to add for you 20,000 for any other thing. Don't you think that was very generous? So that's how we came to 100,000 shillings. So 20 is there for you to do with anything. But, the National Task Force and Cabinet adopted in respect to cash transfer to vulnerable persons in urban areas who depend on daily earning and whose daily earning has been interrupted by Covid-19 lockdown. The National Task Force met 3 times before presenting to Cabinet yesterday, and the National Task Force approved that the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development should take a lead because issues of vulnerable groups falls within Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. This was in response to the President's directive to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development in his address on 18th June 2021, in which he directed that we identify the vulnerable groups that depend on daily earning in urban areas, especially Kampala, that we assess their needs during the lockdown period, and that we identify interventions to take care of their needs. Yesterday, 28th June 2021, Cabinet approved the proposal that I presented on behalf of the National Task Force to transfer to the vulnerable persons in urban areas who depend on daily earning, and their daily earning has been interrupted by COVID-19 containment, a total of 100,000 shillings net each. The purpose of this intervention is to be guided by nature of occupation, and therefore we identified several categories of the vulnerable groups, and Cabinet approved the following as those who should benefit from the cash transfer. Number 1, the bus, taxi drivers and conductors. So if you are a bus driver or a taxi driver or conductor, you are the first category. The others are the baggage carriers, those who carry baggage in these urban areas, the wheelbarrow pushers, loaders in taxi, bus parks and stages, and those who also load in other commercial areas like in Chikubu. When you go to Chikubu, those who purchase, you will find several people who are carrying your baggage. You just buy, and for them they will carry for you. Those are also categories that have been approved. The barmaids, barmen, DJs, waiters, and bouncers, that category also has been approved to benefit. restaurant, bar and gym workers, food vendors in bus, taxi, parks and arcades. These are people who cook food and they supply to the taxi drivers, they supply to arcades. Now that arcades are closed, taxi are not working, they can no longer sell their food. Border riders, special hire drivers and Uber drivers. We realize that although borders, some are still carrying luggages, the business has dropped, so we need to also include them. Saloons and massage parlor workers, teachers and support staff of private schools, and teachers in government schools who are not on government payroll. So here we are only targeting teachers in private schools. But in government school, if you are not in a government payroll, you will also be targeted. The car washers, I don't know whether cars are still there to be washed, but if they are there, they are very few. So we said let them also be targeted. Slum dwellers, ghetto residents, street vendors, shoe shiners and cobblers, and then lastly, orphans and vulnerable children. So these are the categories that will benefit. And let us remember that the intervention for the 42 days is based on those who were working, those who were doing something, but somehow their livelihood was interrupted by the measure of lockdown. So it is not about all vulnerable groups. The other vulnerable groups, the Ministry of Gender is working out a separate plan. For example, elderlies, we have our program under SAGE that will continue. Persons with disability, we shall continue to look after them. This 42 days vulnerable group is strictly those whom the lockdown measures interrupted their daily work, and their daily work is only when they work that they can earn something to eat. So I want the public to really, because many people were of the opinion that any vulnerable person would be a beneficiary. The proposed cash transfer shall target 501,107 households. 501,107 households. And the statistics we have from Ugx is that an average home has 5 people. So if we target 501,107 and you multiply by 5 people, at the end of it, it would have supported at least more than 1 million people. So we are targeting households. And this constitutes 38% of the total household of each of the city and municipality. So the 501,000, we have spread it, and it will cater for 38% of the total household in a particular city or a particular municipality. Will receive that 100,000 net. The withdrawal charges shall be borne by government. So withdrawal charges are not included. You will get your 100,000 net. How did we reach at the figure of 100,000? The figure for 100,000 was based on 1, purchase of 20 kilograms of posho, and we have calculated a kilo of posho at 2,000, that gives you 40,000. Purchase of 10 kilograms of beans at 2,500, which gives you 25,000. Purchase of 1 bar of soap at 3,000. purchase of 3 liters of cooking oil at 4,000 a liter, which gives you 12,000. And if you calculate that, will give you 80,000. Then we decided to add for you 20,000 for any other thing. Don't you think that was very generous? So that's how we came to 100,000 shillings. So 20 is there for you to do with anything. I am so glad that the press is very happy with the figure. And the budget. The budget is on the point, not so? Now, how will you access this money? This money shall be transferred to the mobile money number, which is registered in your name. And your name corresponds to your the name in your national ID. So during the data aggregation, if your name in the national ID is not corresponding with that number, then you will be given another option. So for those whose national ID do not correspond with the mobile money account details, we have organized Post Bank. They have a van, and you know that these are only within the city and municipality, which is within reach. So Post Bank will be able to reach you that where you are within that village or within parish, and you get your money from Post Bank. And Post Bank has a banking van enough to cater for the municipalities and the cities. So, and in case you don't have a national identity card to identify who you are, during the data capture, we have worked out with the NIRA, and you will be given a temporary NIN number with a slip with a NIN. I'm sure most of you have that slip. You've had that slip before. Even during the voting, we were given what was called voter identification locator. That small slip you will be given during the update of the data and registration. So you will have it, keep it well, so that in case you don't have a national ID with the phone number corresponding, you will go and present it to the Post Bank mobile banking agent van, and you get your cash. So it's a very simple exercise, and I'm trying to think that majority might even opt for cash, not mobile money. So the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development with Uganda Bureau of Statistics have worked out already the data, and they will guide cities and municipalities on the numbers of persons to be selected. That was also presented to Cabinet. Each of the municipality, there are 38% of the household being targeted has been allocated already to each city and each municipality. So this will be already meeting, a Zoom meeting is ongoing now with the town clerks and Uganda Bureau of Statistics, as we are here, to now give them their allotted number of household for purpose of kickstarting the work. And the data aggregation is being done by Uganda Bureau of Statistics and the town clerks. Once they have aggregated the data, then there will be display of the data, so that during display of the data, you will be able to know either who to remove at the village or who to add. And the town clerks and Uganda Bureau of Statistics shall be assisted by village health teams, ward administrators, parish chiefs, and Red Cross. So just to let you know, that the LC1 chairperson shall not participate in collection of data. They will, however, participate in the process of verification of the data, because data is a very technical exercise. You cannot leave it with the LC1. So Cabinet has adopted the proposal that Ugx, being the national agency responsible for data collection, and town clerks, who are the people who register those who work, shall be the people to be the lead in data collection. And during display exercise, LCs can help them together with the other technical team I have read. The Executive Director, KCCA, the city and municipal town clerks will ensure that data collected are displayed, and data collected have the integrity and targets the right population. Monitoring and support supervision shall be undertaken by ministers, members of parliament, resident district commissioners, the district task force or city municipal task force, technical officers during the registration, identification, and payment of beneficiaries. Area MPs will be constituted to take charge of a specific area. In the case of Kampala, we shall divide each division into 4, and a minister will be in charge of a section of the area with the members of parliament who will have volunteered on top of the area members of parliament. The ministry will continue to support workers on matters related to COVID-19 relief mechanism during the period of this implementation exercise. And like I said before, another intervention is being worked out, because we know COVID is not ending today. So we have other intervention we are working out with Operation Wealth Creation for the other vulnerable community for the long-term, both medium and long-term impact of COVID-19. I stated earlier that registration starts tomorrow. However, I want to indicate that most of the data for these informal workers are already with the town clerks. For example, KCCA, in the registered taxis, about 15,000 taxis were registered during last lockdown. They have those taxis and their record. We are targeting drivers of taxis, drivers of buses, border borders. Some of these border borders are registered at their division. So, like I said before, while we are here, the town clerks are already meeting with the Ugx and the team from Ministry of Gender to determine what data is available, which can only start being displayed while others are being updated. So from tomorrow, there shall be work on aggregation of data which exists, update, and in case there is need for registration of certain categories that might not be in the database of the town clerks, then all those functions begins tomorrow. So the technical team are now working on the nitty-gritty, including the registration tool to capture this, and it will begin tomorrow. Will they convene in one place? No, they will not convene in one place. We don't want to spread COVID. As you are aware, you know how Ugx collects their data. They go door to door. So in your village or wherever you are, you will receive somebody within the next, between tomorrow and 4th, because aggregation of data, update of register, display of register, all is supposed to be undertaken between 30th to 4th of July. So in between those days, the target groups will be reached. After 42 days, if the lockdown is extended, will the money be added? No. At the moment, no. Another decision can be made based on the president's assessment of the category, because here we locked down certain categories. By the time we give you that money, maybe it will be day what? Day 10 or around there. So you will still be, government support is supplementary to your effort. So we do not have any plan of giving additional after extension. That decision can come after, again, a thorough analysis, because you don't know whether if there's extension, it will be again 42 days, or it will be 100 days, or it will be how many days. That particular time, there will be a new decision related to any circumstance that arises. When shall we get the food? And each family members should be given the money, the 100K for a whole household. Is it enough? But the 100K, even answering the person who says the amount of beans is 4,000, that might be actually the type of beans that you eat, because beans depends on the type. I think for you, you might be looking at the other one. This one is called what? The one you are charging at 4,000. But our assessment in the market, the normal beans that can be eaten by anyone, they returned to us 2,500. But also that's why we added for you 20,000. Yes, we added 20,000 in case there's fluctuation in the price, or you want to increase the kilogram of beans from 10 to 15, or posho. So that 20,000 is for those kind of issues. So last year, when we distributed food in Kampala, we distributed food in household. We did not go to distribute per individual. It was the number of posho, kilograms of posho. The way we have structured it here is the same mechanism, except that last time we distributed food instead of money. So this year we translated that the same amount of quantity of food and items we distributed per household, we only translated it in money. And by the way, in the last one, if you calculated well, it comes to about 72,000. It will not reach 100,000. So it's not true to say that last year we distributed according to household. We only estimated that an household would have between 4 to 6 members, and we said 25 kilograms of posho. Then we add beans and sugar and milk in the circumstance where there were lactating mothers. So the same approach of household which we used last time is the one which we translated in cash. Will it cause domestic violence, and why are you giving only one member of the family? Yes, because we are targeting household. We cannot target individuals. If you are to target individuals, we will talk about 4 million people, and 4 million people living in that category. You would go, I don't know whether Kasaija would be able to raise over 200 billion for that exercise. So like my colleagues have said, this is just a supplementary support. It's not to solve all your household problems. So bear with us. We know in Uganda we have, even in urban areas, some sort of gardens that can, you can put vegetables, somebody can send you food from the village. So this is to supplement what you will be able to get in the 42 days. Like How soon will the payment begin? The Kampala team has assured us this morning. I had a meeting with the technical team from all agencies before I came here, and the team from Kampala Capital City Authority assured us that their data can be ready in the next three days, but the payment will begin on 6th of July. So whichever data is clean, it will be uploaded, and then the mobile money will start going to people's mobile money on 6th of July. Domestic violence, we are going to require our community development officers. We have also instituted supervision team aided by ministers. So this intervention is targeting all municipalities and all cities. And so we have indicated to ministers that come from those areas, they will aid the team that will be undertaking sensitization, mobilization, supervision to pick some of these issues of domestic violence. But also on radio station, you heard Honorable Kasaija saying we have allocated the Ministry of Dr. Chris money which will go to all radio stations in the country. So people will be mobilizing to guide people that the money is not for drinking. The money is to buy food in the house. And there will be where you can go in case there is domestic violence, or where there is some issues related to someone picking money and not utilizing it and the family suffering. But we hope Ugandans are responsible for their homes, and that such matters, if it arises, will be at a limited scale. You know, you cannot plan for an household. Even when somebody goes to pick, somebody goes to register, they will register their family. They ask you your immediate family. And there is a likelihood that that extended family can benefit on their own. So we are only focusing on that household, not on an household and extended family, no.